Hello, my name is Athalia Bustos-Flores, and today I will be giving you my final presentation on a mother's legal right to take maternity leave because of an adoption. This presentation will discuss case number 1 found in our text, addressing the question, is an adoptive mother entitled to maternity leave? We will discuss Ms. Carol Fern and the maternity request that she made through her employer, Bainbridge Borough, the pre-agreed upon contract provisions between Bainbridge Borough and the union. Because her request was ultimately denied, we will present attorney arguments from both sides in favor of Bainbridge Borough and in favor of the union, as well as an arbitrator's final ruling and then a final plan of action for improvement. Okay, case description. So, Ms. Carol Fern had been a tax employee of Bainbridge Borough for 18 years. Carol and her husband underwent the adoption process of a child, which was set to finalize May 2nd. Approximately a week prior to the finalized adoption, Ms. Fern requested 2 weeks paid vacation and 6 months of unpaid maternity leave in conjunction. The Bainbridge Borough Council rejected this request. However, they granted 2 sets of reasonable purpose leave, which amounted to a grand total of 6 months. Later, a grievance was filed by the union stating that Bainbridge Borough was in violation of their final contract agreement. Now we'll shift to attorney arguments both for Bainbridge Borough and for the union. AFSCME Local 10 arguments. This is the union. So, the members of the Borough Council are subject to a set of pre-agreed upon terms set forth in the employer-to-employee contract. These agreements are found that they're referencing is Article X, Section 5, maternity leave should not exceed 6 months, and it shall be granted to the request of the employee, be extended or renewed for a period of or not to exceed 6 months. By denying Ms. Fern's request, they were in violation of this contract. Additionally, the Department of Labor passed the Family Medical Leave Act, which requires employers like Bainbridge Borough to grant job protective leave. These are references in support of that argument. Okay, now these are arguments in support of Bainbridge Borough. So, the company is not in violation of the Family Medical Leave Act because of the purpose of the Family Medical Leave Act. It is granted to employees in times of personal illness to provide care to loved ones and the birth of a child. The Family Member Medical Leave Act was established in 1993. And it's national policy in support of individuals that need to take time away from work, mainly to care for a sick family member. Paid family leave is a state level mechanism of the FMLA, which creates a safety net to support these workers. The Bainbridge Borough Council did not deny Ms. Fern's maternity leave outright. They found that she does not qualify for maternity leave due to adoption, but they did go out of their way to find a different way to accommodate. They remained in compliance with their contract by granting Ms. Fern a leave of absence for the full duration of her request in accordance with Section 4A unpaid leaves. Now for the arbitrator's final ruling. So, there's some important things to know before we get into the ruling that it is correct that the Family Medical Leave Act is granted to employees, and maternity leave is a subset mentioned within the Family Medical Leave Act. The company contract also discloses that maternity leave should be granted upon employee request. So, the answer to who is correct does not boil down to whether the company failed to provide maternity leave, but rather is adoption a qualifier for maternity leave. It is not mandated by the Department of Labor that the company grant 6 months of unpaid maternity leave. The USA right now is the only country that mandates 12 weeks of unpaid leave. That is what they're required to provide. Parental leave is different from maternity leave. Parental leave broadly refers to the time a parent takes off after a new child joins the family through birth or adoption. And maternity leave is a subset of parental leave that specifically refers to the time that mothers take off pre and postnatally to heal from childbirth. Now, because Ms. Fern did not give birth to the child, she does not qualify for maternity leave. She would qualify for parental leave. That being said, as an arbitrator, I would rule in favor of Bainbridge Borough. The employee contract states that they must grant maternity leave. She was not denied. She does not qualify for maternity leave. The Bainbridge Borough Council also did their best to accommodate her by granting her unpaid reasonable purpose leave for the full amount of time of her request. Now, even though as an arbitrator I am ruling in favor of Bainbridge Borough, does not necessarily mean that I agree. The intent of the Family Medical Leave Act is to ensure that families are granted the time they need to grow, to heal, and to adapt. Though the Bainbridge Borough was right as a technicality, there is much better that they could do. A plan of action I would put in place is an addendum should be added to their contract to not just include maternity leave, but parental leave as well. Additionally, keeping up with the Family Member Leave Act, 12 weeks of maternity leave should be mandated in their contract, no matter what, and it should be changed to paid instead of just unpaid leave. In conclusion, this is what we went over. We went over an arbitrator's final ruling. Ultimately, we ruled in favor of Bainbridge Borough because her request was not denied. They just found that she did not qualify, and the company and the union should come together to make better improvements to their family member leave policies. Thank you very much for your time. Here are my references, and that is the end of my presentation.